Okay, I'm in the shop right now, so I decided the best way to teach how to wire up our non-programmable electric heat thermostat is to draw you guys a diagram. Some time back I did a diagram on how to wire up a 3-way motion sensor switch, and a lot of people reached out to me and thanked me for that video, so I think that's probably the best way to teach this. We're going to start this diagram with our breaker. Here we have our breaker. Our breaker is a double pole, single throw breaker. And this will be our source of power. And let me just write here what it is. We'll be using 12-2 Romex for this project. And our 12-2 wire will have a black wire, white wire, and our ground. This one here is our ground. And our black is a hot wire. And our white, for this application, it's also going to be a hot wire. Because we're doing a 240 line, our white wire is not a neutral, it's a hot. So for our white wire, I'm going to use this red Sharpie just to indicate that it's our secondary hot. So what we have here is we have 120 going out from this hot, 120 going out from this hot, which that gives us our 240. Let me just draw a box here. This is what this is our jacket, or you call it sleeving, whatever. But this is our Romex wire. And I'll just draw an arrow to that. And our ground, for those that don't know, it connects to our bus bar. Ground bar, bus bar. And that's the bar that you will see inside your main electrical panel box, which you will see your neutral lines and your ground lines connected to. And forgive me for the way I spelled neutral. I was thinking too far ahead and I put a T and almost left out the U. Okay, so now we got the source of the power out the way, our 20 amp double pole circuit breaker on our 12-2 Romex wire with our ground that connects to the bus bar. And now what we all been waiting for, our non-programmable electric heat thermostat. Now how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna turn it around so you can see your L1. Not sure if you can see that there. Then we have an L2. Under that is our T2 and T1. So now let's draw our double pole thermostat here. Now our thermostat is L1. Then over here we have our L2. We have our T1 and T2. And we're just going to write what it is. Now that we got that out the way, I want you to remember, keep in mind, this is our white wire. And anytime you're using the neutral as a hot, you have to place some black electrical tape on it to indicate that it's being used as a hot line. And that is a must. Put your black electrical tape on it before you connect it to your breaker and before you connect it to your thermostat. This way someone in the future, if they're ever pulling this out, they know that that wire is not a neutral. Now, your T1 and T2, these wires, what they're going to do is going to connect to your unit. And you all already know that our unit is the cadet wall heater. And here we have our compact cadet wall heater. Now, our ground doesn't get connected to the actual unit. It goes to the metal housing to our cadet wall heater. Inside the metal housing, there will be a ground screw, and that's where your ground connects to. Now, what they've done with this unit is they daisy chained two heaters together, but you will have still one red line and one black line. So T2 will connect to that red wire that's in your cadet wall heater, and T1 connects to the other black wire that's in your unit. But don't forget that here, this will be your Romex wire that's white, and you have to, on both sides, put some black electrical tape to indicate that it's being used as a hot. Don't forget that. So this diagram here pretty much sums everything up. I believe you should be able to wire up your thermostat to your unit with this diagram. And if anyone's still a little confused and needs some extra notes, I'll put some notes over here in this corner. And I'm running out of space here, but a few more notes here. And some extra notes just in case anyone has some other questions. Well, there's my diagram. If you want to take a screenshot, go ahead right there. And just to show you the back of the unit, here's our red wire, our black wire, where you get 120 going in. Here's our thermostat, our T1 and T2. This black wire connects to this black wire, and this red wire will connect to this red wire, just like our diagram. I just realized something on my diagram. I should have added the word twin, because that's what this is. It's a twin cadet wall heater. So now if you want to take a screenshot. Now let's talk a little bit more about our thermostat here. This one is what they call a double pole thermostat, because it has 4 wires, and that's how you can do your 240 with a double pole. They do sell single pole thermostats, but there you will have only 2 wires, and those 2 wires will be basically your hot and a neutral. And the single pole, you will use it on a single wall heater, not a twin. But you can use a double pole on a single, and that's what I'll be also using, double poles on my single, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And if you're asking, but why I will use a double pole on a single cadet wall heater? Well, because a double pole thermostat has an actual off feature. As you can see the word off. Your single pole thermostats do not have an off feature. So how a single pole thermostat works is basically you just drop it to the lowest setting, because now what the thermostat is waiting for the room temperature that you have it set to drop under that. Then your single pole thermostat will kick on the unit. So how I want it when I want it off, I want it to be off. I don't want any voltage going to my cadet wall heater. And that's why I'll be installing the double poles. Now I'm going to show you how to check if your thermostat is working the way it should be. So we have our leads connected to the L1 and T1. I have the meter on dial. So when I turn our switch and when you hear the switch click, we should get a continuity. That's good. Now I'm going to switch my leads to the opposite side. I have my leads on the opposite side now. You hear it. Now let's turn it off. Off. That's how you can test if your thermostat is working. If you put it on the off position and it's still beeping, that means it's not shutting off the way it should be shutting off, and just send it back. And remember, that's L2 and T2. Now put it on, should beep. Hope that short little test didn't confuse anyone. This has nothing to do with wiring this thermostat up. It's just basically a way to test it, to ensure that you didn't get a bad unit. These work good. I'm going to show you one that does not work the way it should work. So I'm going to put it on. You hear it? Now it should stop beeping when I go on the off. See that? Something's wrong with this. Now if I play with the button, like pinching it, this is no good. It's trash. So I'll be sending this one back and get my money. Or if they have in stock, then I'll just have it replaced because I still need it. It is what it is. Sometimes when you order stuff from Amazon, you know, some of the boxes get mistreated. It probably was thrown around. Not saying that at the manufacturer or wherever it was at that they didn't do a QC or check it right. It probably just got damaged during transit. These are manufactured in Mexico, so that's a long ride. Now we're removing the cover to our non-programmable thermostat. It just holds on with these two little notches, one on each side. So just like our diagram, T1 is here, T2 is there, and those are the two that we wire to our unit. But before we make any connections, connect your grounds first. Okay. Get our grounds in our box here. And this tool here is specifically designed to get stubborn cables that don't want to go in the box. And remember, it's important, do not mix your cables. Remember, I came from the bottom up, that's to our unit. And from the top down is our source of power. Don't mix this, it's important. Now I'm connecting T2 to the white wire. That's to the unit. And T1 to the black wire that's going to the unit. Okay. Now you don't need to do this. I like to connect some electrical tape when I use Wago nuts right here. When I'm sticking them in these smaller boxes. Now L2 goes connected to our source. And L1 to the black of our source as well. Okay, now to tuck everything in our box. Now we have our thermostat in. Now let's turn on our new unit. Now we're back upstairs. Now what you want to do is you want to turn it clockwise all the way to your highest setting. Now let's turn on our thermostat. We got it on 70. And our unit is on. Oh yeah. So now once the temperature of your room reaches 70, your wall heater will shut off. Just so you know, we can run the wires directly to our unit because this is a thermostat. But what I don't like about it is that you really don't have an idea on what temperature you're setting it to. But with the non-programmable thermostat, you know exactly what you're setting it to. It's been a few days now and the unit is working great. It turns on and off like we want it to. You can connect one of the very fancy digital thermostats. They're pretty pricey, so I was looking at some of them are around $100 or even more than $100. This one was 21 bucks. It's a non-programmable one. It suits me. It does what I want it to do, and I'm happy with it. Because there are some thermostats that you could actually control through Wi-Fi and with your cell phone, and I don't need that. This one's doing exactly what I want it to do. I hope this video helps someone out there. Like and subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, I will be releasing another video on how to install the 1500 watt cadet wall heater with a double pole thermostat as well. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm in the shop right now. I decided the best way to show you guys how to wire your non-programmable program. It does what I want it to do, and I'm happy with it. Because there are some thermostats that